Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. My name is Matt Williams. I'm the Executive Director of the Kansas City Golf Association. And once again, I'd like to welcome you here to Kansas City Country Club for today's Hall of Fame luncheon. I have a very small role in this particular function. We have a committee that has been formed. The individuals on that committee, I'd like to recognize them very quickly. But first off, Mary Jane Barnes, who is back here at this table. Don Keene, Brett Plymel, Todd Bone, and Dick Swatala. And our chair for the Hall of Fame committee, and who will serve as the master of ceremonies today, is Mr. Jack Garvin. Jack, would you come on up today?
Okay, when we formed this committee, and Matt just named everyone that's on the committee, and the five of us, this was a team effort, of course, to put all this together. But it's been a great ride this past 12 months of getting this all together. I've enjoyed the process of compiling first a list of possible applicants of more than 40 people who have contributed to the game of golf over the years. And by over the years, I mean going back 80, 90, 100 years to the very beginning of the KCGA. Researching all the exploits of these 40 people. Conducting an election that we had. When was that election? I can't remember now. Don, it was June? May? Something like that. Anyway, to choose 7 so we wouldn't have a group of 20 to go in, but we knew there was going to be a nice number of 7 people to go in the first class here. And then finally, of course, planning this induction ceremony the way we've done it. It's been a wonderful trip down memory lane for me for all of these individuals. Before we begin our 7 3 to 5 minute induction speeches, I would like personally to thank 2 of the inductees that are present today. Sometimes in life we are surprised to find out the effect we've had on people, and we don't find this out until way down the line. Stan Thirsk has no idea how he influenced what I consider my greatest day of golf in this lifetime. It was 31 years ago in 1982 that I was trying to qualify for the U.S. Open Local, and here at Kansas City Country Club, and then in the afternoon over at Milburn. When I saw the pairings a few days before, I was petrified. Paired to Stan Thirsk, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Don't embarrass yourself in front of the best professional in Kansas City. I was determined not to top, shank, skull, chili dip, or pop up or otherwise put on an embarrassing exhibition. And my wish was granted until the 36th hole that day when I topped my drive on number 9 at Milburn, the 36th hole. But my 147 did end up making the cut, and so all I can say, Stan, is my best day of golf ever was shaped by my fear of making a fool of myself in front of the great Stan Thirsk. Thank you, Stan. Okay. And by the way, Stan made the cut that day, of course, to his 20th out of 23 times he made it through local qualifying. Bob Reed, Mr. Reed. In 1987, Bob said, "How would you like to be the Public Links Committeeman?" And I said, sure, I guess so. What is that? Well, I had little idea how that door opened for me to get into tournament officiating, and all of the people I have met from coast to coast, going to the Amateur Public Links Championships from Boston to Hawaii, with Seattle, San Diego, Minneapolis, Bandon Dunes, and many others in between. And I suppose I should also mention San Antonio and Norman, Oklahoma, in July, right, Matt? Matt was there in 106 every day, so some of them were not that nice. But thank you, Bob, for getting me into this side of the golf world. Okay, can we cue the slideshow? Oh, we're ready to go. Okay, thank you, Lauren. Okay, I would like to introduce our first inductee in the hall, Opal Hill, 1892 to 1981. And what fun it was researching Opal's exploits. She lived right across the street from St. Teresa's Academy, where I taught for 13 years. She began golf for medical reasons around 1925 because of a chronic kidney infection, but she quickly became a great player, teacher, and organizer. Her playing resume speaks for itself. Three times on the Curtis Cup, 3-time champion of the Missouri State Amateur, 3-time champion of the Western Amateur, 4-time champion of the Trans-Miss, and 5-time champion of the Kansas City Match Play. Some of her battles with Miriam Burns must have been something to watch. Kansas City Star describes it as 200 or 300 people following their matches that they played in the Kansas City Match Play. To also be one of the founding members of the LPGA puts Kansas City on the golfing map forever. Many in this room know Opal in her later years as a teacher and a professional after her amateur playing days were over. She gave lessons at Blue Hills, Hillcrest, and many other courses in the Kansas City area. She was a national figure in golf who chose to keep Kansas City as her hometown. I give you Opal Hill, now in the Kansas City Golf Hall of Fame. Okay. So each one of the 7 inductees has a plaque in their name. And next will be Brett introducing someone named Tom Watson.
Thanks, Jack. I had to pare this down a little bit because there's quite a bit to talk about with Tom. I'll first go through his career highlights. He won 39 times on the PGA Tour, 6-time PGA Tour Player of the Year, 14 Senior Tour victories, including 5 senior majors, 8 major victories on the regular PGA Tour, including 5 British Opens, 2 Masters Championships, and 1 U.S. Open. He also competed in the Ryder Cup as a participant in 77, 81, 83, and 89, and captained teams in both 93 and 2014. He started playing when his father, Ray, introduced him to the game at the age of 6. A young Tom soon developed into a state amateur champion at the age of 17 and went to play for Stanford University and earned a degree in psychology in 1971. He joined the tour in 1971 as well and won his first tournament, the Western Open, in 1974. Throughout his career, he was respected as a sportsman and spokesman for the sport. He received the USGA's Bob Jones Award for sportsmanship in '87 and was elected to the PGA World Golf Hall of Fame in the following year. In addition, Watson won the Golfer of the Decade for the '80s, celebrating his 19 wins and 86 top 10 finishes throughout the decade. His charitable work is well known to all of us in the Kansas City area as well. For 25 years, he held the Children's Mercy Classic, which benefited the Children's Mercy Hospital and generated over $12 million throughout the 25 years it was held. He also was influential in the Clubs for Kids program, which began in the 80s and kind of is now the First Tee program. He is still the chairman of the advisory board for that program as well. When Watson's caddy, Bruce Edwards, was diagnosed with ALS in 2003, he began searching for funding for a cure for the disease. Following Edwards' death in 2004, Watson helped start the Bruce Edwards Foundation for ALS Research. And the subsequent year, he began the Bruce Edwards Celebrity Classic, which raised nearly $3 million over the first 5 years of the tournament. His career now, he's still playing on the senior tour. He's also got his design company, Tom Watson Design, who's designed numerous courses throughout the country. His instructional DVD series was one of the largest selling series, selling over 60,000 sets in 36 countries. He gives credit to success to the people who helped him throughout his life and career. In his early years, his dad and Stan Thirsk built the foundation for his swing with a solid, no-nonsense approach, which served him well, from which his game blossomed. His desire, determination, and dedication had much to do with his success, and this combination of mentors and hard work ethic has been the key to his long-standing career. He was born in Kansas City in 1949 and still resides here in a suburb of Kansas City. It's my pleasure to present Tom Watson as the Hall of Fame inductee for 2014 or 2013.
I'm not Tom Watson, but I was asked to say some remarks for Tom today. He sent some words. I've been very fortunate enough as executive director of the Kansas City Golf Association to work with Tom and his staff regarding the Watson Challenge the last couple of years, and it's a real treat. It's one of the professional highlights of my life to work with Tom. But he sends his regrets for not being able to be here. He's, as you know, he's captaining some event between Europe and America, I guess, is coming up. So he's got some trips, some obligations as Ryder Cup captain that he has to attend to. I think he's sandwiching some trips into Japan and Cuba here in the coming weeks. So he was unable to be here. When I talked to him and his staff about this, I kind of expect it to be a old hat for Tom. He's won some awards. He's been to some functions where he's got some trophies, but he intimated to me that he really loves to be kind of thought of with the people from Kansas City. He loves to tell stories about his junior golf and amateur career playing at Kansas City events and Kansas City Junior Tour events. Kansas City match play was a highlight of his career he mentions very frequently. He loves to be thought of as a Kansas City resident. It's what his pride is about. That's the reason he started the Watson Challenge a few years ago. He also expressed that he was honored to be inducted alongside such great individuals that we have here today and that we're honoring later on, like Marion Burns, Chet Mendenhall, and others. But in particular, he is honored to be inducted alongside his friend and mentor, Stan Thirsk. And he gave me a letter to read. Dear Stan, congratulations, my friend, for receiving such a distinguished honor today. When people think of the history of golf in Kansas City, you will always be remembered for not only your excellent performances over the years, but the manner in which you treated people with grace, humor, and genuine friendship. I was extremely lucky to have you as a friend, mentor, and teacher over my lifetime. I know I couldn't have achieved what I have achieved without you, and for this I am forever grateful. I hope both you and Audrey have a most enjoyable day. Your friend, Tom. It's a testament to Tom that even when being inducted, he deflects the credit to someone else for his services. And I accept this award on Tom's behalf. Thank you very much.
I think that's a pretty good segue to Mary Jane Barnes, who will help induct Stan Thirsk.
It gives me great personal pleasure to introduce Stan Thirsk. To quote an interview with the PGA, Stan fell in love with the game of golf at 12 and never looked back. His whole life, everything he did, revolved around golf and getting better. Little did he know how his dreams and aspirations would come true. Stan was an assistant at Mission Hills Country Club when he took the head professional job at the Kansas City Country Club in 1962. Stan quickly established himself among our members as an outstanding teacher and player. Here are some of the highlights of his illustrious playing career. Stan advanced through 22 U.S. Open qualifiers. He played in 9 U.S. Opens, 6 U.S. Senior Opens, 10 PGA Championships, 16 Senior PGA Champions. He won the Senior PGA Professional National Championship in 1989, and he was inducted into the PGA National Hall of Fame. What a record. His other major accomplishment in golf was teaching and mentoring young Tom Watson. Tom and Stan had a very special relationship. Many days Stan would be on the practice range here at the club working with Tom on his swing or playing with him. Aspiring young golfers from all over Kansas City would come to the club to take lessons from Stan. Parents would bring their video cameras to tape every minute of the lesson. Stan had a knack for being so encouraging to these young high school golfers and college players. Everyone wanted a lesson with Stan. The funniest thing I remember is one day I saw a prominent surgeon who did not belong to the club jump out of his car in his surgery scrubs. I said, "Doctor, what's going on?" He said, "Young lady, I have to hurry. I'm late for my lesson with Stan." If you took a lesson with Stan, he would always emphasize the grip. He usually would draw the correct grip on your glove with a marker. Today in the men's grill, there is a replica of Tom Watson's grip. Stan taught him that grip. He would be on the practice range from morning till dusk. He loved teaching, the grip, the swing, and especially tempo and rhythm. In an interview in 2009 with top teacher Jim Hardy, Stan was asked, "Do you believe there is a parallel between rhythm in golf and life?" Stan's answer was, "I think that is what is good about golf, especially for kids. It teaches you about life, about honesty, about perseverance, patience, and all the good things. And that's what I learned when I was a kid." If I had to describe Stan Thirst, I would say he is a man of high integrity, high morals, lots of humility, and a true statement of the game. Stan taught me to play golf, taught me the knowledge of the swing, how to conduct myself, and helped me play good enough to make 2 USGA championships. I would not be the player I am today if it was not for Stan Thirst. If I take a lesson in Florida, Sea Island, or anywhere, the first thing they say is, "You have great tempo." Tempo, having a good short game, and being a good putter, I contribute to you, Stan. Thank you. I can't end without mentioning Stan's wife, Audrey. She, too, has had a wonderful ride with Stan's success. For years on Mondays, Stan and Audrey devoted their talents to the Kansas City Junior Golf Program. Stan, you are most deserving of being in the inaugural class of the Kansas City Golf Hall of Fame. Your qualifications and status among your peers and the golfing community are indisputable. Congratulations.
You know, usually I can run off at the mouth without any problem, but all those kind words from Mary Jane, I can't, I've lost my voice. Thank you, Mary Jane, for